What is the most hazardous type of weather that falls from the clouds? Snow? Drizzle? Hail? Certainly one that's right up there is freezing rain. Now thankfully it's pretty rare in the UK, but when true freezing rain does fall, it's very, very dangerous, coating everything instantly in a layer of clear ice, causing power failures and making simple journeys on foot, bike or by car truly treacherous. So just what is this mystery slip-inducing threat? Well, it's basically very cold rain. But the actual temperature of the air that the rain is falling through, well, that is the key. Now, most rain that we see at the surface in the UK actually starts off life as snow up in the cloud, but it melts on the way down because generally temperatures rise as you get closer to the surface of the Earth. If the temperature of the air between the cloud and the ground stays below freezing all the way, so all of this is at or below freezing, then the snow doesn't melt. We get snow on the surface, creating beautiful white landscapes. If just the very bottom part of the air is above freezing, then the snow will start to melt. So if we have this zone below freezing, and then a narrow layer towards the surface where temperatures are above freezing, then the snow will start to melt, and that's what basically makes sleet, a mixture of rain and melting snow. But sometimes conditions can be just right where the bottom part of the atmosphere is actually colder than the bit above. So, what do I mean? There's a narrow layer of the atmosphere just above the surface that's below freezing. Then you have this zone where temperatures are above freezing, above that, and then you're back below freezing up at cloud level. So what you're going to have now is that snow forms in the cloud, starts to fall. It melts on the way down through this warmer zone, and then right at the end of its journey, the rain, because it's now rain, goes through this bottom part of the atmosphere that is below freezing. And here's the key: the rain doesn't instantly freeze here. It travels through this layer still as a liquid. As it falls through this final layer that is below freezing, it becomes supercooled. Basically, liquid that is below 0 Celsius. If this supercooled water, supercooled rain, is falling fast enough and the layer of the cold air is shallow enough, it remains in this state, a liquid, even though the temperature is below freezing. And then it hits something, a tree, a road, a power line, a pavement. All of these things on the ground are cold. They're in the air that is below freezing. So the freezing rain hits a surface and freezes instantly. It can create beautiful patterns and make for spectacular photos, but it also makes things very, very slippery. And on roads you now have black ice, glaze of ice that you just can't see. It's also heavy, so the weight of the ice can bring down branches or power lines, creating power cuts. When the beast from the east hit in 2018, it was the first time I'd properly experienced freezing rain, and it fell on top of several centimetres of snow. It really was quite a sight right here at Met Office HQ. Just because we forecast it doesn't make us immune from it. Heavy snow fell here at Met Office headquarters on Thursday afternoon. It's pretty rare to see this much snow in this part of the world. It's also very rare to see this. A thick layer of ice has formed on top of the snow, and that's caused by freezing rain which fell through much of the night. That was a lot of fun to play in, not so much fun if you had to actually get anywhere. Thankfully, as I said, freezing rain is quite rare in the UK. It happens much more frequently in North America, where during the winter months, ice storms can turn major highways into ice rinks. Now, the best conditions for getting freezing rain in the UK occur when a warm front approaches. Might sound strange because, as you might imagine, warm fronts actually bring warm air with them. But warm fronts also slope forwards through the sky, so if it's travelling in this direction, the warm air is tucked in here behind the warm front. But you can imagine that the bottom part could still be in air that is cold and potentially below freezing. And in that scenario, well, you've got that setup, that perfect profile of the atmosphere for making freezing rain. But even then, things are very finely balanced. We get lots of warm fronts across the UK in winter, but hardly any of them produce proper freezing rain. A more common cause of ice in the UK is rain falling onto frozen surfaces, but that is not the same. The ice isn't as thick or instantaneous in the way that it forms as it does with freezing rain. It's the fact that the rain in freezing rain is supercooled that makes it so dangerous. Thanks so much for watching this video about freezing rain. When freezing rain does occur in the UK, there's a pretty good chance we'll be issuing a weather warning for it. But who decides when we issue a weather warning, and what do the different colours mean? Well, you can watch this video to find out all about the national severe weather warnings that we issue. Alex Deakin talks you through the different types of warnings and what those colours mean.